This is Kisma at Visionary Artist Path Twitch. Thank you for showing up. My website is visionaryartistpath.com, of course. Today we're having some fun. And what we're going to be doing is we are working with an empty Starbucks cup. This is a grande. You could work with a small size or a regular size, but I think grande gives you the best. You can see I've got plenty. They're so generous at Starbucks. All you have to do is ask for an empty cup or two and they give them to you. The last time I went, the girl said, I can give you 4. And I was like, right on. So guess what? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here's the one I reserved a couple of weeks ago. You don't drink coffee, you don't like Starbucks. Okay, well, just go get a cup. It's no big deal. This isn't a political statement or issue. This is a fun art project. So I'm going to show you, aside from your Starbucks, you are going to want to have a really healthy, let me find it here, a really healthy Sharpie pen. Okay? What I mean by healthy is that when you write with it, you have solid, beautiful black lines, none of this sketchy running out stuff. So maybe a new one or a fairly new one. And it's a medium nib. And then you're going to want to have with you markers. And I've got several types of markers. Now, no, you do not want watercolor markers. You just want old-fashioned arts and craft markers. These do bleed a little bit, unfortunately. These do not. They're permanent markers. So you're going to want to have a bunch of colors. They don't have to be as healthy as your Sharpie. Here, let me just do this so you can see all the supplies we're going to be working with today. And you're also going to want to have a white Posca pen or paint pen. This is a, what size is this? This is a 3, I think. It's what I call a large. And you're probably going to want to have a smaller, finer tip. Okay? But whatever you have is perfect. But a white, you'll want to have that. And if you don't have it, then just use whatever you have. Right? That's what we do. We use whatever we have. Okay. Now, the other thing you're going to want to have, the last thing you're going to want to have is Mod Podge. We're going to work with Mod Podge too. If you don't have Mod Podge, then that's something that you will want to get. If you have varnish, varnish works, but I'm going to tell you something. It doesn't give the sealant that we need that Mod Podge gives. Okay? All right. I guess you've probably guessed by now what we're doing. That's right. We are going to design on our Starbucks cups, and we're going to turn them into things. I'm using mine to hold my various pens. Okay, you can see that. I've got my black paint pens, my Sharpie black paint pens in here. I've got my metallic paint pens in here. I've got my white paint pens in here. Why do I need stuff like that? You don't, but I like to create my own things. So let's see what I've created. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to turn a plain old Starbucks cup into a nice work of art that we just sit on our counter and store our creative pens in instead of buy plastic things to put our pins in. We're recycling, we're repurposing a Starbucks cup. And then if you have enough of these babies, you can sort through your pins like I did. And I'm telling you, there are so many designs that you cannot go blank with what to do. And I've done it a couple of different ways, and I feel I have found the best way to do the cup art. Okay. And I'm going to show that to you. By the way, did you know that your paint pins, your metallic pins, your Sharpies, your Poshkas, you want to store them not laying down, but upright like this with the nib down. Not like this, the nib down, because it keeps the paint down in the nib. If you store your stuff like this, the paint levels out and goes away from the nib. And the nib starts to dry out. If you store your pins like this, all the paint drops to the bottom and your nib 100% dries out, and it will render your paint pen useless faster. Okay, I'm going to show you one other cup I did for today, and that was black and white, just black and white. You don't have to color. Doing a black and white still looks very cool. Okay. So this is a form of doodle art. That's right. If you got a daily doodle practice going on, you got something to do as a daily doodle. A cup like this is going to take you maybe 3 or 4 days to finish. You can't rush it, so you just take it one step at a time. Also, I just want to show you, see this cool thing? The cup holder, we're gonna work with that too, but not at the beginning. The last thing I want to say is you can get some really wonderful, cute cups that have prints on them, right? This is so sweet, and I thought, oh, I'm definitely going to doodle around this, and I'm going to do something with this. And I had 2 of them, and one of them just had some termite dust in it. I live in California, and all of our wood houses have termites. If you didn't know that, you do now. But I wanted to rinse it out and just have it 100% clean. Well, these bled. So before you invest time and energy into doodle art on a pre-printed cute cup like this, test it, wash it, get it wet. If the colors smear, it's not steadfast, and think twice. Okay, so let me get my Sharpie out here. I know I just had it out here, but where did I put it? There it is. And I'm going to get an empty Starbucks card. I always start at the beginning. For those of you who work with Color of Woman, you know, you got your muse already done for you. Yeah, Starbucks works with the muse icon. Isn't that cool? So we're going to always start there. So the first thing I found is just to begin to do your design. And here we go. So you can see I've got the front done, right? So that's kind of cool. Now if I was continuing on this one, then I'm doing it all the way around, right? And once I have the whole design done, I go in and I fill up things, like I make black areas. I want to show you this one. You can see on this one, I've got a black ribbon that goes all the way around. So I use my Sharpie for that. So I color it in before I even do anything else. This, I made a heavy black line. Over here on this one, I have got a lot of black. I ended up having a lot of black on it, and I didn't pre-plan that, so I filled it in as I decided to add black. You can do that with any color. Don't work with watercolor paints, or don't work with watercolor markers, okay? I made the mistake of doing some watercolor, and it does bleed when we put on the Mod Podge. It does bleed a little bit, but I can go back in there if I really wanted to, and I could freshen up the yellows and the oranges of this flower. But you know what? I think it looks cool the way it is, so I'm not so worried about it. Okay. No, I'm not going to be painting the whole cup today. I'm just doing a little bit to show you a section of it. I just realized the cup that I was going to demonstrate the Mod Podge with, I'm coloring it in. So in a moment, I'm going to go back to doing my design. Because I'm going to do one in black and white. But it's so fun to see how these start to really become colorful in front of you, you know? You know, all the way through the 70s, I think maybe beyond too, I think into the 80s, we used to have a folder in school called Peachy folders, that if you were in high school or junior high school, you use those for your classes, your different classes. We didn't do so many notebooks back then. And our Peachy folders used to begin to look like this. They really became works of art. I usually save this until the end, but I'll show you right now, okay? Because I'll probably have to redo it again, but I give my girl eyes. So I put the whites of the eyes in here so that you can see her looking at you. Makes a huge difference, doesn't it? She comes to life. See that? Okay, now the other thing I want to share with you is you when you get your full design done, you can actually come back in with a finer tip marker, and you can add things to, it doesn't have to be solid color. In fact, you don't want it to be solid colors. You want to put, the doodling in it. But you don't need to draw these with your black Sharpie. Okay, so I want to show you something. So for example, see this black and white line right here? I probably will just leave that black and white. It does look cool when you have some black and white elements in your cup that you don't. Like right here I have white with just black spots. Here's my black and white lines. So don't forget to have elements like that. I have it on both sides right there. Maybe I'll leave those two black and white. But I'll come in here with this one, and that one I'll definitely do up. And okay, so you're designing too, right? And you can make every single thing a different color, but it will look weird. Trust me on that one. I did it. I did every single thing a different color, and it's too crazy looking. The eye wants to rest, and when you do design elements that have a bit of uniformity to them, then it is easier. That's a bad nib, but we're going to use it anyways. And this is not perfection art, so you don't worry about your lines being the same or staying in the line as you paint. Really, it's just relaxation. This is a form of therapeutic art. Okay, so you can just keep going until you have it so packed you just don't know what else to do, which is what I've come to. I've come to that place where I'm pretty filled up. Doing a last check to see if there's any last items I want to add, or colors, I mean. Which I'm doing that. But honestly, I feel like this cup is now done. What do you think? Okay, so let's do the final part, and we'll, we'll seal it up. So now my paint is fresh, so I hope it doesn't bleed, but if it bleeds, it's okay. So you got your Mod Podge. And I've had my craft brush just soaking in water so it's nice and pliable. Okay. So the object is to try not to go over the same area twice. And you're just coating it with the Mod Podge because it's gonna give it a base. Oops. I just did what I told you not to do. And it dries clear, so don't worry. Like, oh no, I can't see my design. It's gonna take about a day, so you're gonna leave it overnight to dry. I would say don't Mod Podge inside, especially if you plan on actually drinking out of this, which I wouldn't. I don't feel comfortable letting my lips touch the Mod Podge or the markers. But you can see how solid it is, and it'll just dry. And the other thing is about your drying, I'll show you this one again. Let me put this off to the side though. Okay, the thing about the drying I'm going to show you on this one. Okay. So it's not even. It doesn't, you do have streaks on it, but they're not noticeable streaks, right? It gives it a sheen. If this gets wet or splattered, it's not going to run. For the most part, your paint, your markers, if you worked with permanent markers, they're gonna retain their area, their line. Like right here, you can see it blurred a little bit, but not bad, not bad. This took about, like I said, it took about 24 hours to dry. And there you have it. Have a great time creating. Thank you. Bye for now.